Okay, so here is like another video of another example about the different parts of our graph. So I just kind of want to go through this video as kind of a recap, okay? So we have our graph, our equation graphed out, okay? And this is our equation. Always write your equation with your graph, so it's a good reference, okay? And let's go ahead and start with our major pieces, anything that we see major, okay? So we know that this is a really good point, and this is our maximum. This is also our vertex, okay? Vertex is always in the middle, okay? So when looking at this one, we know that our point is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 8. Okay? Now, this is the highest point, right? Now, the second thing I want us to identify are the roots, and they fall on our x-axis, our roots. Like we're going to pretend this is the ground right here. Roots, our x-intercepts. Here and here. Let's go ahead and write these points. So this one is going to be 1, -1, because we went over, back, -1, comma, 0. And we know this one, we went over to the right, which is positive, 1, 2, 3, 3, comma, 0. These are the roots. And we can write roots. Another important aspect is going to be our y-intercept. Okay, our y-intercept is kind of in between these two, so let's just kind of get a roundabout idea. So we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7's here. So we'll say, because this graph, so it's like 660, comma 6.5, okay, because it's right kind of in between 6 and 7, okay? And while you're doing that, we know our x is generally going to be time, and our y values are going to be height, okay, height. And so that's essentially what all these are. And when we write a point, we know this is x, y. We know this is x and y. This is x and y. This is x and y. And if you have to, just know x is going to be time, and y is height. Okay? X is time, y is height. X is time, y is height. Okay? X is time, y is height. Okay? So we know, I'm going to fix this. Sorry. Just so we know that this is time and y is height, okay? So I just want to make that more readable. And so we know that the highest point was at 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, and the highest point was 8 inches, 8 feet, 8 meters, okay? And then at 3 seconds, at 3 hours, 3 minutes, 3 days, the height was at 0 again, right back on the ground, right? And this one, we have a -1 for time. Can we have -1 seconds? No, we can't. -1 days? No, like we start, time always goes, like, you can have like 0 seconds because that's your starting point, your initial point, right where you started. So make sure that we understand all these different parts. Same with this one. Okay, when we look at these different parts of the graph, I always like to just start out with the most obvious point right here. Okay? This is our vertex or our minimum slash vertex. Okay? And this point is 1, 2, so positive 2, comma, negative 1. Okay? And then right here, we have roots, because these are on our x-axis, and this root is going to be 2, 3, comma 0, and this root is 1, 1, comma 0, and then we have our y-intercept, where you start your y-intercept, your starting point, your initial point where you begin, and this is going to be where you begin, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And just remember, your x is usually going to be time, and your y is going to be height. Okay? So your x is time, your y is height. 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 Okay, so kind of get into that habit. So here, you know, you may have started here. Okay, like maybe you're going down, obviously, right? Because we're going down because we have a minimum. So if you start here and you are jumping down and then you hit some water, okay, you finally hit the water at x is time, 1 second. Then you go deep and you get down to -1 feet, you know, and then the lowest point, you know, is going to be, you know, it's going to take you about 2 seconds from when you started to finally get to the lowest point, and then you're going to go back up for some air, and then you get some air, you know, right here. You decided to get some air right here, and it took you 3 seconds, and you finally came back up from the water. Because, you know, we have our time, and then our height.